How's it going, guys and girls? Hope you guys are having a great week. So I'm back today with another news video, and this one is on the latest news from Square Enix. And for those of you that haven't heard, it was announced today that Final Fantasy 15 has been delayed by 2 months. So it is now due for release on the 29th of November this year instead of the 29th of September. Now, to explain why this has happened, guys, in a video message, the director Hajime Tabata basically explained the decision to delay Final Fantasy 15 by 2 months, and he basically said that he held it back to make certain that the disc version of the game is complete in its full polished version and experience. So he basically said that the development team have produced the master version of the game, which was completed a few days ago, and they'd realized that the game wasn't quite up to scratch for what they wanted, and that there would be a massive day one patch. Now, they decided that they wanted to, instead of bringing the game out on the 30th of September and having people download this huge day one patch, which usually happens for most games, they decided that they wanted to provide a full or best experience for the game to people that perhaps do not have as good an internet connection. Perhaps they don't have an internet connection. Perhaps their download speed is very slow. So they wanted the disc version to be the fully polished final version of the game, so that the day one patch will effectively be included within the disc in the final version, and there'll also be a little something extra in there as well. Now, obviously, Tabata apologized for this delay, and he just explained that they wanted the final product to achieve, and this is a direct quote from him, a level of perfection that our fans deserve, and we kindly therefore ask for your understanding. So there you have it. That's pretty much what we found out today. Now, what are my thoughts on this news? Well, I have to say I'm not disappointed that the game has been delayed by 2 months. I think it's kind of refreshing, really, from a producer or development standard, to, rather than rushing the game out and producing the disc version of the game and then having a massive day one patch and the game coming out with lots of bugs. I think it's refreshing to see a development team actually decide that they want to take their time, that they want to produce the best version of the game that they can do. And I think that's really great, and I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with Square Enix taking their time to produce what, you know, promises to be a fantastic game. This game looks so beautiful, the gameplay looks good, the world looks great, and I'm very excited to explore it, and I would like the game to be in the best version that it can be, and I think that's absolutely fine. And I think it's also good in a way because it doesn't discriminate against those people that perhaps don't have a strong internet connection and do really get fed up of day one patches. And I feel that in a way, most games now, you can't really buy a new game without having a day one patch, and it's become kind of ridiculous. We used to have games where they were put onto the disc, and that was the fully polished finished version of the game, and that was what you got. And I think we've gotten away from that. So I think it's really refreshing that Square Enix are going back to this. I'm also happy that it's been delayed by 2 months, because it basically gives me more time to play other games that are coming out. So had Final Fantasy 15 come out in September, and the end of September on the 29th, I think I would have really struggled to play the game and finish the game and spend as much time in that world as I wanted, because in October there are a number of big games in October and November coming out. Of course, in October you have Battlefield 1, of course you have The Last Guardian, Gears of War 4. There's tons of games coming out in October, and then in November we've got Watch Dogs 2. There's Titanfall 2 coming out. There's the new Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. There are lots of big AAA titles, big hitters coming out in October and November, but there's not much coming out in December. So I'm very happy that this game has been delayed to the 29th of November, because now it means that when the game is released, it is pretty much the only big game that I'm wanting to play at that time. So that means in December, and even in January, I can spend the time in this world exploring Final Fantasy 15 to the full extent. I think this is going to be an absolutely massive game. I think it's going to be huge, a much bigger open world than we've ever seen before in any Final Fantasy game. So yes, it's gonna probably have hundreds of hours worth of gameplay in this game, and I'm very much looking forward to it, and I am very happy that it's been delayed to provide me more time to be able to play it, because other than that I would have had to really pick and choose. I don't like playing multiple games at the same time. When I play a game, I like to sort of fully immerse myself in that game, in the gameplay controls, in the world, finish that game, and then move on to the next. And it's very challenging for me when I'm wanting to produce video game reviews. I don't like jumping, in between games and sort of playing multiple games at the same time. I get very lost in terms of the storyline, and it takes me out of the gameplay experience as well. So I'm happy that this has been delayed until the 29th of November. But those are my thoughts on it. I think it's interesting, the reasons that they've given for delaying the game by 2 months. And I think it's an honest reason as well, sort of saying the game isn't ready, it's not in its polished state that we would like. Yes, we could do a day one patch, but we don't think that would be fair to 100% of our fans. And you've got to give credit really to Square Enix for deciding to go down that route, and sticking to their guns and going, nope, we're going to delay it by 2 months. And actually, I think it will kind of help their sales, because they're not going to be competing against other big name titles at that time. And I think coming out on the 29th of November, I think Final Fantasy 15 is going to have less competition, and it's going to dominate the video game charts even more than it might have otherwise already done. And it could very much be a game that people buy, right going into Christmas. So it's very clever marketing ploy. It's a great choice development-wise, and so I generally think it's a good thing. So those are my thoughts on the news that we heard. What are your thoughts on this news that the Final Fantasy 15 is going to be delayed by 2 months? What do you think about it? Are you happy? Are you not happy? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button as always to show your support. Please share the video to get it more out there. And obviously, if it's the first time that you've dropped across my channel today, thank you very much for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Alright guys and girls, well, take care. I'll be back again with more videos. I've got some Deus Ex videos that I'm working on at the moment, which is basically looking at the book, The Icarus Effect, and the game The Fall, which is set prior to Human Revolution and also sort of in the middle of Human Revolution. So I'm basically working on a video for them, and I want to bring that out prior to Mankind Divided coming out next week on Tuesday, to give you guys a little bit more information on the world and the lore. So please be patient with me, guys. I'm working on those videos, but they take a lot of time and a lot of effort to make them. But anyway, so yeah, I'll be back with more of that later. Alright guys and girls, well, take care, and as always, happy gaming. Yeah.